Alright, so we're going to talk about getting started with bullet journaling. Now the first thing you want to figure out is, what is your bullet journal going to be used for? So what are you using it for? And then you can just brainstorm all the ideas, all of the things that you think that you might want to track. What is important? Ask yourself, what is important for you to track? And I'm going to list some ideas for you. You can track your mood, important dates. You can track your water intake. You can plan your days and weeks. You can track your projects. Plan content. These are just some ideas of how you can use your journal. Activity or exercise. Well, let's see, what else? You might want to have a space in your journal to write down a gratitude for every day, a daily gratitude. You might want to use it as an actual journal where you ask yourself questions and talk yourself through like any kind of tough things that you're going through. You can write about them and help. That, I find that to be really good for working through problems. You can put shopping lists, weekly shopping list for your groceries. Did I say plan meals? You can plan meals, and these kind of go together, the meals and the shopping list. What else? There's just a lot of things that you can track, but these are just some basic things to give you an idea. Next, step two is choose your journal. And if you're in my Patreon, I will have this in a PDF form, nice and neat for you to download so that you will have a resource guide, something to go by. So choose your journal and decide if you want to use like a spiral bound notebook, a dot journal, dot grid journal, a blank journal that has no lines. We're going to put lined by notebook, or lined paper, blank with no lines, or a graph type. A graph type notebook that has, it has the graph on it like that, the graph lines. So you want to think about what kind and what size, what the pages are going to look like, and then what size, and that's completely up to you. You can use a big one like this, you can use a smaller one. I use the smaller ones, and they have different shapes too. They have the really long kind of travel journals that are long and narrow, or they have them long and narrow this way or square. It's up to you. You'll have to decide what's best for you. So the size, what size you want, and then of course paper quality. That's important if you are going to do a lot of artwork in your journal. You'll want to think about what kind of medium, if you're going to use like watercolor in your journal, gouache, if you're going to use markers, ink, whatever type of medium that you might want to use. You want to make sure that the paper is thick enough that it doesn't buckle, it doesn't peel, it doesn't get beaded up, it doesn't tear. The next things you might need to think about are other equipment that you might want to use, other supplies. And this is just to get you thinking about it, get you started. You'll want a ruler if you like to do straight lines. I'm not a big straight line person, but you can if you like it. Washi tape if you like washi tape. And these are just some suggestions. It's completely up to you. It'll be your totally customized journal. You could use collage type ephemera. Maybe stamps, ink stamps. If you want to do the days, like do the letter stamps, do the days of the week, or the dates in there with stamps instead of writing it in, up to you. Maybe some glue tape. or any kind of double stick tape, just so that you can stick things down in your journal if you need to. You might even want to get maybe some little sticky notes, the small ones that you can stick in there, or stickers. You can decorate your journal with stickers, whatever you want to do. It's totally up to you. And then once you decide on all of those and you've got your notebook ready, you'll want to think about the components. And these are just basic components, but everybody's can be different. But the basic components for a journal, first you'll want your key. The key just helps you know whether your tasks have been done or not. And I'm going to show you a key here that I used in one of my journals. So this is the key, and I put it on my first page, and all it does is, like if I have a task that I need to get done, I draw a box beside of it. If the task has been started, I do one line through it. If the task is complete, I'll do several lines through it. If the task was canceled, then I just do an X through it. So that is my key. So anytime I'm looking at my task, I can look at my little squares and see what needs to be done, or, you know, if it's completed. The next thing is your index. I'll show you my index. This is just one index. Now I have found over time that I really only need one page for my index. And what that index does is it's just where you'll list the contents of your journal and then what pages you can find them on. And that way it'll be easy for you to flip through and find what you need to find. Since this one only holds 6 months, I have found, this is an old journal, I have found that I just need the one page for an index. I don't need a double spread. But, you know, you might need more depending on what all you have in your journal. But mine's pretty much just for content planning and not much else. All right, the next thing you need to do is set up a future log. Now, this one is one of my first journals, and I did a 12-month year overview. So I did 12 blocks. Each one contained a monthly calendar, and then under it I wrote like all of the important days and I marked them. But I have another one that I like that I did better. This is my current one. So this is July and this is 2024. I only did 6 months because I found that my small notebooks only hold 6 months worth of planning. So I just did the small calendars at the top, then I marked the days, and I kind of color coded them so that I would know what I was looking at just by the color. And then I wrote down all of the dates underneath each calendar, and then on the special days, you know, my holidays or birthdays or whatever my days are that are important to me, then I colored them and then I wrote what it was. Now this is great for your overview. You can look at this, you know, and see what you have coming up in each month for the whole year. As you get new dates, you just turn to this, you write in your new dates. If you get a doctor's appointment, then you'll just color it in here, and then you'll migrate it over to your monthly spreads, which I will show you in a minute. But this keeps track of your whole year overview. So that is called a future log. So the next thing you want to do is set up your monthly log. And all that is your monthly overview. But now first, let me go back. I like to do a cover page before I start my month. So at the beginning of each month, I do a nice cover page. And this was for this month, September. And then I do my monthly log. And all that a monthly log is it's just a calendar style page. And you put your dates in there. You can put your important dates over to the side if you'd like. Or I write mine directly onto the calendar, and I also keep up with what I need, what content that I need to have out each week, and what's going to be, just the overview of what's going to be in that content. You can do major task, appointments, goals, habits you want to focus on if you want to. But this is a monthly log for September. This monthly log was from last year for October, and I did the cover page and the monthly log all in one spread, and then I just wrote out my important dates there, you know, on my actual month. And then I have a content creation after that, but we'll we'll get to that. So that's your monthly log, and that's just a calendar style page. You don't even have to write a calendar out. You can write the, let me show you. I'll just do it for you on one of these blank pages. If you don't want to go through all that, let me go to a back blank page. You could just write the month out. Let me go on to the, is that my last page? You can just write whatever month out at the top, however you want to do it. We'll just say October, and then you just list the days. Instead of doing a whole month, you just go all the way through 31. October has 31 days. You do that, and then you just write out beside of it what is happening on any of those important days. You don't have to do that. I like the calendar view, but you don't have to. You can do it in a list view. That's just an example. So that's your monthly log. That's the overview of your month. And then weekly logs. Oh, let me see. How is this weekly log? Now, this weekly log is my current one. I really like it. The way that I did it was with a Dutch door. Now, your weekly log just sort of, it's actually a weekly and daily log, if that makes sense. So I'll show you. I've combined the two together into a weekly and daily log. Now, here is my content creation. That is a separate collection. That's called a collection. We'll get to that. But this is my weekly log. And what I do there, now this one I did a Dutch door, so I cut off the edges, and then on each side, one side I put the September calendar and all the things I needed to do for September, or some of the highlights of some of the things. And then October, I put that future calendar on this side, and then I haven't written out everything there. But then my weekly log, weekly daily log, this is week 1. And it's got all my days of the week in it, plus a to-do list. So I write each thing here. And then you see I've got my squares, but I didn't do the X's in them. I've changed over to just check marks. And sometimes I just mark it out completely. So this is a combination of a weekly and daily log. I've got my whole week here. It tells me what week. And since I did the cut off here, I can see my calendar. So I've always got a view of my calendar no matter what week I go to in September. And yeah, I really like this layout. This layout I like a lot. Let's see what I've done with this one. Let's see if I can go to this one. So this one I did more of a horizontal weekly layout, and what I did with this one is I wrote the month up here, but I did it for every week. So that gets tedious. That's why I like this one. I just do the month one time, and I've cut the pages so that I can, you know, see the month the whole time. On this one, each week, I did it more of a horizontal. I did my weekly content. I did my calendar, what week it was in the month. Some people do weeks of the year. I do weeks of the month. But that's up to you. Again, total control over how it looks. So then I just had a little artwork up here, my weekly content, and then my daily logs and what I needed to do each day. And the way I do it is I do these weekdays large, and then I cut my weekends in half. So, and that is another one. But the downside of these is you've got to write all this information every single time. Whereas with this method where you make the Dutch doors, you'll have all the information on each side, and all you have to worry about are the days of the week, and you don't have to do it over and over. You don't have to keep creating that calendar over and over. So I just wanted to show you those two different methods you could use, give you some ideas. Now you can do collections, what I call collections. And collections are just some unique things, unique to what you want to track in your book. And it's just logs that go to specific interests, like maybe books that you read. We'll write this down. Books that you read, movies, either you want to see or you did see, your weight. And I'm going to show you something really cool that I did for myself that I've been working on. It could be, like I said, any of your habits, water intake. So we'll just make habits, mood, things like that. So it could be any of those. Well, you can make it two different kinds. You could do a habit trackers, or you could call it a collection. I call it a collection because it's kind of the same thing, but it's up to you. So now I want to show you something where I have a separate book. I use my journal mostly for planning, but I have this special journal. And it is because I have been on a 100-pound weight loss journey. And so this is the journal that I started for it. And I have, instead of index, I have content, but it's the same thing. You just put, you know, whatever the title of the collection or habit tracker or whatever you want. And then I just put what page numbers that it's on. Of course, I found, like I said, through journaling, that I only need one page for my contents or my index. So the first page I put in here, since this is all related to health and me losing 100 pounds, which thank you Jesus, I have lost 80. I still have some more to go. But this is my why, and so I just did some why. I've always wanted to zip line, but I've been too heavy to it. Now I could probably do it. I'm at a normal weight now. I'm in a normal size. I'm not in plus sizes anymore. And here are just some of the things that I want to do, and you can add to them as you think of them or as things become clearer what you want to do. And I wanted to really garden. I mean, that was my big thing. I had a great garden this year, so everything has really, this has really helped keep me on track. So this is my why. So I would consider this a special collection. It is just the reasons I want to lose weight. And you need to know that so that you can refer back to them when you get a little bit, you know, behind. And then my weekly weight, and I've covered those up because you don't need to know how much I weigh. And I did a Mad Hatter or Alice in Wonderland theme for the first part of my journal. So I just wrote down all of this, you know, all of the dates, and then each Friday I weigh myself and then I just write it down. This is my, I call it my measurements, my health measurements, where I've got A1C, and underneath it I have like this is a collection. You would call this a collection or a tracker. These are measurements. This is the normal A1C for normal people, so that's the normal range that you want to keep it in. And then these are my test results. I get tested pretty often because I'm on thyroid medicine. So these are my my results, and then I put a little arrow if it's went down from the last result, if it went up from the last result, but I still want to make sure that it's in that acceptable range, in the good range. So everything is, I'm doing really good there. I have not measured myself because I lost my measuring tape, but you know, my rib cage, my tummy, my hips, my thighs, my calf, my neck, you put that there. And then I put like how much I've lost from the last time. Like I've lost 8 inches in my tummy since this time, since this first initial measuring, but I've actually lost from this because I was measured at the doctor, so I'm gonna have to fill that in. But you know, it just says how many inches I've lost since the last. I put that in the corner just to kind of keep me motivated. And then this is a habit, not a habit tracker, but it's a tracker. And what this is my countdown to how much weight that I plan to lose. I have like 36 pounds total that I want to lose. And so each time I lose a pound, I just color in one of these little numbers until I get all the way to 36. So I am, eventually this will be all colored in when I get to my goal weight. All right, and this is a collection. This is just some ideas of what you should eat, what is healthy, what your plate should look like, and it's just a visual reminder. So this is also a collection. This is also a collection, and these are just some of my favorite places that I like to eat out, and then some healthy options that I know that are on the menu. That way when I go out to eat, I already know what I'm going to order. I already have it planned, and I don't overeat when I go to the restaurant. And then these are just some journaling prompts, because this is more of a journal tracker type rather than a content planner. So you know, these are just some prompts. When I overeat, I wish, I give myself permission to, and then you just journal about that prompt. Also, I have powerful questions to ask yourself, like, how can I live today so that I can be proud tomorrow? Or what can I do to feel accomplished today? And then you want to write that out. And your brain will try to work that out for you during the day. And then just like on my others, the ones I showed you before, I have a monthly overview, a monthly log, and I have my appointments there. I have, for this one, since this is more goal-oriented and more toward my health, I have my 3 big goals, the actions I need to take to meet my goals, things that might get in my way, and then how I will overcome these things that might get in my way. The best way to prepare in order to succeed, and then when things get hard, what will I remember to do? And then I give myself a little motivational quote as well. All right, so now on these weeks, I have trackers, and these are my water and exercise trackers on the side where I fill those out each day if I am getting, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I want to get 9 glasses of water, and I mark those in as I do them, and I want to get, and this is just for activity. Did I do any activity, self-care, things like that. Also, and that goes every month, and I always give myself a little quote at the top to sort of keep me going. And then here I just wrote down, right now my body needs healing. This is my question, how will I honor my body this week, and what will that look like? And then I just answer that on my journal pages. I also have, I thought I had a section for meal planning. And yeah, on some of these I did my meal planning where I did breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then I just wrote an overview of what I was going to do. And then I just wrote something about that day related to, you know, celebrate your every win, no matter how small. So I would just write little reminders to myself on those pages. So I just thought you'd like to see that. This one is my health journal. So it has got a lot of collections and not many logs in it. Now, other collections that I've told you about are my content creation collection. So this is another special collection, and it is for my monthly content. I just glue colored paper in there, some cardstock, and I only glue it on the inner edges so that I can fold the outer edges over, and then I have all this extra room to write and make notes and plan and whatever I need to do. So that is a special collection for my monthly content. Then I have one for gifts, and because this is my month of November, let me show you my cover page for November. This was my November cover page for last year. And then this is my special collections. Gifts, I brainstorm gifts for whatever gifts that I'm going to give in December for Christmas. And then also I do a special menu for Thanksgiving, what I'm going to have. And then under that, I just did my shopping list, what I need to buy for that. So that is another type of special collection you can do. And this is a different kind of a weekly log, weekly daily log. I did it all vertical in this one. So that's another way to do it. I also have my December. I have a special collections in December. It's a special things that I add. And that is my gifts. So I migrate whatever I decided in November that I want to give as gifts. The things that really stand out to me that I think would be really good gifts, I migrated over to this spread, and I put the people's name at the top, whoever I'm getting gifts for. This is my immediate family. And then I just write the list. And also I have a card layout because I still love to send cards in the mail, and so I just write the people's names and their addresses. So that is another kind of collection. And now this is a vertical weekly spread where I do it vertically, and this only had, the week started on a Friday, so it only had 2 days in this week. So I decided to do another just really big painting there because I was feeling skippy. I was feeling pretty doggone. And there's my cover spread for December. But I was feeling pretty skippy, so I decided to do another one. So those are just some things that you need to think about when you are getting started with your bullet journal. And some special collections, some special ways to do it. So I hope that, let me see, this is my oldest journal. This is where I started and I learned. You're going to learn some things, like I learned I don't need a 2-page spread for my index. And I learned that pagination or pagination, however you want to pronounce it, is important. Your future spread, that's page 4 to 5. That way you can just flip through pages 4 through 5. It's important to get a bullet journal that has already numbered for you. If not, you're going to have to write all your numbers. You're going to have to number your pages yourself. And then like if I wanted to go to series ideas, 36 through 37, so I just flip through, and 36 through 37 I have series ideas that I've written down. And if I flip over and want to write more series ideas throughout the book, then I just write whatever pages that I did that on, and it'll continue on, you know, to whatever pages. So that's a really good tip right there. Keep your index and just keep your page numbers, and they don't have to go sequentially. They can go out of order, like you can, just as long as you keep on writing down. Like if I go to page 59 and I want to write some more series ideas, then I just write, you know, I just put a little comma and do 59, and that's another page that has the same series ideas. So whatever you want to use your calendar, your bullet journal for is perfect. That's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'm going to go over to my Patreon so you can download a PDF of how to get started bullet journaling. Thanks for watching.